Hey everyone, so I'm Tesla Herbert. Today I'm really honored. I'm excited. Actually, I'm also shocked, frankly, that we are joined by Kim Paquette. You can find her on Twitter as at Kim Paquette, KIMPAQUETTE. So the reason I'm shocked is just a few short days ago, there's a documentary was shown on Hulu titled Elon Musk Crash Course, and none other than Kim was heavily featured, might I even say, starred in it. She's well known in Twitter as not only one of the original early full self driving beta testers, but she's gone on to become a key representative for the Tesla community. In fact, Kim, I've noticed actually, I looked you up and I saw that your name has been in publications and articles for many years now. You're like a go to person. So, many topics I want to cover with you, from this documentary to you being the primary person that got Mary led trending on Twitter,
Yeah.
your frenemy relationship with Earl. I've got to definitely ask about that and so many other topics. So welcome, Kim. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Okay, so given that this documentary just aired on Hulu on Friday, today's Tuesday, I think we need to get right to it and talk about that topic right after. And then right after we do that, I want to dig into your background and how you started all that. But I think we need to go right to this because this is a big deal. And
Yeah.
I was so impressed with you. So just generally, how did this come about? What's your thoughts on it? I saw that you did a great recap of your tweets, but tell me about your perspective.
I was contacted by one of the producers back in, I want to say, November. They had seen an article that I did with Matt McFarland from CNN. It was just a print article, and this producer found me on Facebook and sent me a message on Facebook Messenger and asked if I would be willing to discuss, my impressions of FSD Beta.
Yeah,
And so we talked. We did a Zoom like this and
yeah.
talked for about an hour. And a few days later, she asked me if I would be in the documentary on camera. And I was, you know, wary, as I think now we can see why, because it wasn't a very positive film toward Tesla. And I was very adamant about, like, I did not want to be part of anything that was going to be a hit piece on Tesla.
Okay,
And they assured me that that was not their angle.
okay.
They told me that their angle was more, is Tesla and Elon, are they pursuing autonomy the right way?
Okay.
Like, meaning I thought what they meant was by not using LiDAR and, not having all the contraptions on the car, not so much, that it was a danger. And so I agreed, and they came and filmed me in December. And then, yeah, it just came out. And I was glad that I was one of the two pro Tesla
Yes.
voices in the film. The other was John McNeil, former president of Tesla. So I'm honored,
Yes.
that I got to be in that group with him. Um, but I do feel like the movie, like, left out some important context, and so that sort of skewed it to the negative. I don't mind them presenting the things that they presented, but I don't feel that they balanced it like they said they would. And by that I mean, maybe produce some data either on either side that either upholds, what Tesla says. I don't think they believe Tesla's data.
Hmm.
So produce some other data. I mean, the NHTSA, the NTSB, I mean, something. There must be some data somewhere that supports that this is unsafe. And there isn't. So they left that part out.
So I'll dive in deeper to that, but that's before we move on. I'm still
Yeah.
very interested into how I think everybody is, how it all
Okay.
comes together. Have you been on TV before? Have you been approached by representing Tesla? Because, like I said, your name is everywhere in publications and articles. Is this your first?
Not TV.
Yeah.
No. I mean, I was contacted early, like in the FSD Beta program, like a lot of us were, but at the time we were under the NDA and we
Right.
weren't speaking to the press. I don't know if that would have been on camera or not, but you know, so I did turn away some things, but no, I haven't. No, I had never been on TV before.
Gotcha. And then was the filming actually in your home?
Yeah,
Not in a
yeah,
separate location. That was your, I mean, obviously the outdoors was fantastic. I loved all those shots were wonderful.
yeah. Newport's beautiful. I'm glad I got to show
Yeah.
Newport. Yes, that was they filmed in my kitchen, in my living room.
And then
Um,
how much of it can you control? Like you either just say yes or no, or is there like specific things you do you have control of what you will delete or no? Once you've agreed,
no,
that's it. Yeah.
no. I mean, they interviewed me for the part where I was sitting in my kitchen was probably an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And I think my total time in the film is like less than 5 minutes.
So so they definitely pick and chose which ones you say,
Yeah.
right?
And
Okay.
they left out some things that I wish that they had included,
Well,
you
okay.
know.
So let me insert something of what I thought of it first, and then I definitely want to hear more about what you thought and drill to some of these topics. It was so wonderful. But so thought I'm incredibly proud of you. I
Oh,
really thought. No, I'm not just saying this. I'm really not just saying this, but I thought every word you said was so articulate and, for lack of a better word, perfect. I couldn't have this if I was to write this down as a script of what I would have said. You did so nicely. I wrote down all the words you said. You said all the right things. So I'm not going to repeat every one of them. I'll pick out the key ones. But you said it's a group of owners who test software, but it's not public.
right.
And I love when you said people believe it's going to happen, or else you wouldn't do it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then you cited statistics, which I'm really glad you did, because oftentimes these kind of documentaries, it's about what you say. You said I think the average is 36,000 auto deaths a year just in the U.S., and I think 90% are human error. I think autonomy is necessary to end virtually all traffic deaths in this country. Loved it.
Yeah,
And
and
let
I
me just continue a little bit more. I know I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I think each word you said was so perfect that I think it's important. And you said Elon Musk is somebody who comes along once in a generation. You felt honored to get to
Mhm.
do this. It's a little part of history. And then I love when you said there are definitely people who do not agree with Tesla's approach. I don't feel that it's risky. I've never felt endangered. Now, I can say that people who buy Tesla understand it's not full self-driving yet, and nobody's forcing anybody to buy self-driving. It's an option. So all of those things were like, boom. I'm so glad you said it on a documentary of, widespread.
Yeah.
And I love that you were not only at the beginning, but they wrapped you up at the end, and you were near the end, and you were near the beginning. So it was this. That's why I think I said you're actually a star, because I thought you are the main person. No.
I mean, I definitely was featured more than I thought I would
Yes, you
be,
were.
but yeah, it was surreal.
Yeah. So, as I've been talking to people, they're saying that it was well balanced. Everybody said you did a fantastic job representing us, the Tesla community. Uh, and overall, we thought it was okay because they let you say what you said. Was there anything that you said that you wished that they left in?
Yeah, they concentrated a lot in the movie about Elon's
Yeah.
missed timelines.
Yeah.
And when they asked me about that, I kind of made a little joke, but I was serious in that, I've been a Tesla owner since 2015.
Yeah.
And I have learned that it's a much less stressful experience if you do not hold Elon to his timelines and you understand that when
Mm-hmm.
he says something like this, it's aspirational.
Okay.
And then I also said that, it's a hard problem to solve
Yes.
and
The
that
hardest
no
problem to solve in the
yeah,
world ever.
right. And nobody's doing it. It's not like
Yeah.
Tesla is failing. I mean, it's everybody is, working on it still, and it's taking them a long time too. So
Nice.
that,
Oh,
and so I said that, and
yeah.
they didn't put that in, but
Those are beautiful. Those would be perfect, because
yeah.
I think the big hit was, is Elon lying? One of the things I came out of this was, I think you defended robotaxi well, and
Mhm.
and the approach about beta. being to the public, and the endangering people or not endangering people, and they focus on 3 major deaths.
Yeah.
But the bigger thing that I think came out of this whole thing at the end of the day is the hit on Elon's reputation, that he's a liar.
Yeah.
That he knew, and yet he would say. So I do wish you were able to say those things. Yeah.
Yeah, and I did talk about the autopilot crashes a little bit when they interviewed me about it. You know, I basically said that we are reminded every single time we engage autopilot that we have to pay attention, and that there is no ambiguity about this. So people using it improperly is on them. It's not, you know, on Tesla. Could Tesla have done more in terms of nags or, you know, the interior camera or whatever? Yes, but I mean, at some point there's also personal responsibility, and we don't hold other automakers with ADAS systems to the same standard. So, you know, there's distracted driving everywhere. I would have loved it if they would have compared some statistics of distracted driving versus, you know, but anyway, yeah. And that actually was one of the things. The producer, or the director rather, was in the other room with like a monitor. And I was looking at a camera with her in a monitor. So I was kind of talking to her into the camera.
Yeah.
She asked me, what do you do? Like, and I had talked about how I'd gone on a 12,000 mile road trip. In my car, did almost all the driving. This was before FSD Beta.
Yeah.
And she's like, what do you do? What do you do with your hands? What do you do with your feet? You know, I said, no, I said, I monitor my surroundings. And I said, well, you know what I see? I see a lot of people without autopilot texting, and that's scary.
Nice.
You know?
Oh my gosh, that would have been great.
They didn't put that in either,
No, I mean, obviously the documentary was so focused on the past, 2016, disgruntled FSD, whatever, the auto engineer, which gave it so much credibility. They didn't talk about, you know, what's happening in the last few years.
That was even, I think that both of those engineers were when it was still Mobileye, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you mentioned that in one of your tweets, and I did not know that, and no one knows that.
Right.
And you assumed, you know, and they're talking about recent too. But I think you did a great job. Enough that you took this piece that could have been much worse. I don't know yet what will happen, but today's 5 days later. I don't think it's blown up as much as it could have. And I think it's because you did a great job. You did a perfect job. So yeah, you're wonderful. Yeah, you've done a lot of road trips. I want to get to that too. So yeah, you've become the de facto spokesperson for the Tesla fan and community. I want to find out shortly later as we go through this how you keep about. But honestly, you are that person, and it's wonderful. You must feel good about that, huh?
It's weird. It's not anything I ever expected. Like, how did I get here? You know, it's kind of crazy.
Let's go there. So before Tesla, before Twitter, what's your story? Where are you from originally? Where'd you grow up? Yeah.
I'm from Ocala, Florida. I was born in Miami, but I grew up mostly in Ocala. And I left Ocala when I was 20 years old, when I started flying for Delta. So I kind of never went back. And yeah, I've lived in Cincinnati, Boston, Philadelphia. Now I'm in Newport, Rhode Island.
How did you end up in Rhode Island? Can you share?
My ex and I used to come here a lot when we were living in Boston.
Okay.
It's kind of a city where a lot of Bostonians and New Yorkers like come for the summer. They have summer
vacation spot, right? But you're living there now. Sounds like you're 100% on vacation all the time.
Exactly. But anyway, so we were living in Philly for my ex's job, and I was very unhappy there. I liked Philly itself, but we didn't live in Philly. We lived like in the suburbs, and
I can imagine for somebody who grew up in Florida moving to Philly.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't mind, like, I loved the city itself, but we lived like 45 minutes outside of the city. Yeah. And it was just really boring. You know, I had come from a place of living in Boston where I walked everywhere. Yeah. And then we ended up out there. So anyway, I was very unhappy there, and we were only supposed to be there for 2 years. And after 4 years, I was like, okay, like, seriously, what are we doing? And so we bought a house in Newport as our, like, a second home. And the plan was that we were going to spend like 50-50.
Gotcha.
Half the year here and there. And then I just never went back there.
Yeah. Nice.
So my plan worked. But anyway, yeah. And so I love it here. It's a small town, but there's a lot of things to do. There's a lot going on. And I have great friends and yeah.
Okay, so when you were younger, did you know what career you were going to go towards, and were did you know that were you focused on somehow tech and science and engineering and
no. So I was always curious about the world. I knew I was going to be a traveler. I actually was majoring in French because I wanted to go to France. I just loved, the idea of learning a new language.
Worldly.
Yeah. And this was having been nowhere, so it's just, I always knew that I wanted to explore. And I was majoring in French in college, and I, on a whim, applied to Delta.
Yeah.
Not thinking I would get it. I was only 20 years old. I was still in college.
Yeah.
And I got it. And then I thought, well, I'm going to be a high school French teacher, most likely.
Okay.
Like, that's not what I want to do.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take this job and see what happens. And and I've done it ever since. And no, I knew nothing about, I did not care about cars. I did not care about tech. I always was interested though in like what the next thing was going to be. I remember when I was a kid, my great grandmother telling me, because she was born in 1899, and so she lived through horses and cars and airplanes and space shuttles, and just like, wow, all the things that she'd seen in her life. And I thought, I'm never going to see that. How can we top this, right? And then of course now with the all the technology and stuff that we have now, I could probably, probably right there with her. But I always thought, electric cars have to be the next thing, because I do believe.
Oh, when did you know that? When you were younger, you already knew electric cars?
I started thinking about it. When hybrids came out, I was like, okay, this is something.
Yeah.
I didn't have one, but I had a long commute. And I thought my next car is going to be a Prius, probably, because at the time that was the car. And that didn't happen. I actually quit working for about a year and a half after 9/11. We all kind of went on, for a little bit. And so I was reading an article about this Tesla Roadster in 2008, and I was like, wow, look at that thing. Like, it's cool. It goes, how many miles does it go? Oh my God, it's possible. Because before it was just, a Leaf that didn't have any range. Right. It wasn't a practical car. And for somebody like me, at the time I had an 85-mile commute. So,
okay.
I knew that I could never have a Leaf, And so I was just kind of like, okay, well, I'm going to watch this company, this Tesla company, and see what's up. And then when they showed the Model S, I was like, oh my God, that's the most beautiful car I've ever seen in my life. I just thought it was so sexy. And
yes,
but
it
still,
was.
It was still not practical for my commute because there were no superchargers, and the range wasn't enough, and for the round trip anyway. And then and it was expensive, And so I was watching, just kept watching, and I noticed superchargers one day on my drive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
on your specific drive.
on my commute, and I was like, it turns out the very first superchargers in New England the first ones outside of California were in Milford, Connecticut, I think, or something. Wow. And so on 95. And so I went on the website to see what was going on, and saw that there were, I think it was one at JFK, there was one in Milford, and then and I was based in JFK, and then there was one in New Jersey somewhere, because my ex-husband used to drive to Philly, back and forth from Newport. And so I told him, I said, we could do this. Yeah. And we had looked at the Ford Fusion, because I really was ready for a car at this point. We looked at the Ford Fusion Energy and the C-Max, and I just hated those cars. I didn't like anything about them other than the fact that they were at least a plug-in hybrid. And so, but that got his wheels turning. And at the time, it was only, I think, the P85, the 85 and the P85D. They had just unveiled the D.
We're talking 2012 here, or
this was 2014.
Okay.
I think they had unveiled the D like in the fall, I want to say, of 2014 or something. And so anyway, so the D was like a must in my husband's brain because we live in New England and it snows and, you know, you always have to drive cars.
Yeah.
And, but then when they came out with the 70D, that was like kind of the right combination of price.
Nice.
It was the most expensive car that we'd ever bought by far, even with the rebate. And but that was the right combination of price and range.
Yeah.
And I came home from a trip one time, and he said we were getting one.
I'm so happy to hear this because so you were very early. You were driven because of your interest in EV cars. You're even looking at other EVs. I myself invested in a battery company called Ballard that made EV batteries for buses. I lost a lot of money. They went under. But I was hoping back then, this is 1995, 2000, that it would somehow succeed. Yeah. So I'm glad that you did that. And then it's so cool that you were following them and then you bought one of the early cars.
Yeah.
So you know, before, I just want to question from something you just said earlier. So is Paquette, is that French origin?
It's my ex's name. I didn't change it because I've been in Paquette for 18 years before we got divorced. But it's Quebecois. His family came down from.
I'm Canadian too, by the way.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Gotcha. And then so as a flight attendant, you travel a lot, and I noticed that you do a lot of international travel, not just nationally. And like weren't you in Paris last week?
Yeah, I'm going to Rome next week.
My gosh, you've been doing this for so many. So what's your favorite place?
Well, my favorite layover I can't get to now because it's a New York trip, but is Nice, France.
Okay, so it's all about France for you.
Yeah, I mean, I love all places, but I mean, I am more comfortable in France, obviously, since I can speak. I'm not fluent anymore, but I can, get around and read the signs and read the menus and have basic conversation. But yeah, I love the food, I love the wine, I love the lifestyle.
That's so wonderful.
South of France.
Okay, so continue telling your story. So you bought the Model S, 2014. Yes. How did you get into Twitter? Who were the people? How did you get interested in Tesla some more? What happened?
So it turned out that for about the first 2 years that we had that Model S, that I was the primary driver, and I was driving it back and forth to New York to work. And my ex had his like old car in Philly that he kept there. So I was like, okay, well, I'll, and I was also like, why spend the money on gas from Newport to New York?
Right. The longer drive's better. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and Autopilot had just, came out like, I want to say 4 or 5 months after I got the car. And it was like mind blowing, especially on I-95 in Connecticut. I mean, it was just like a life changer. But anyway, I was not on Twitter then. I was on the Tesla forums. The original Tesla forum, not TMC, but the Tesla forum. And I kind of made friends there like you do. And, because with electric cars and Teslas, especially back in 2015, here, there you never saw any. Like, they were very rare. And so if you had a question about your car, it's not like you go next door and ask your neighbor.
Right. No.
Yeah. So you went online, and especially when it's software related stuff and you're getting these updates all the time and stuff. So yeah, I just kind of became a regular on the Tesla forum. And over time, I just kept building these relationships. And the first event I went to was the Model 3 delivery party. I was a +1 as somebody from the forums. And, I met...
Model 3 delivery, that's really late already.
That was, 2017. Yeah.
Was it already that far away? Because the delivery party, not the announcement.
Not the announcement, the delivery party. When
oh my God, the years are just going by so fast. Okay, 2017, you went to that.
I think I had gone to a VIP factory tour before that too, but this was like the first event where I kind of started. I met Trevor Page from Model 3 Owners Club, which became Tesla Owners Worldwide or whatever. I met Bonnie Norman at that event.
Bonnie Norman, yeah.
Yeah, like, you know, and I was nobody. I think I just joined Twitter.
Yeah.
I had like 100 followers,
Yeah.
you know, just nobody knew who I was, you know. And I just walked right up to both of them and said, "Hey, you know."
Yeah.
And Trevor and I actually were in line together for the ride, for the test ride. So we talked quite a bit. But Bonnie was like, "Who are you?" And but anyways, but over the years, I went to Twitter to wait for the Model 3. Like I went and you know, stood in line with everybody, even though I didn't need to because I was an owner already and we were supposedly at the front of the line.
Yeah.
I wanted to like kind of be a part of the excitement, and so I went and stood in line, and then I went and joined Twitter because that's where Elon was. And I had Twitter before, but I just never used the account. I didn't get it. But I think that like once you found your community, whatever.
Exactly. 2008, I joined and I didn't do it until 6 months ago.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean, once I joined in 08 too, and I didn't start using it until 2016, like April. Yeah. And it was funny because a lot of us that are kind of the bigger accounts now, we all got there at the same time.
I'm shocked when I've talked to people that they only started 2018 when the FUD was happening. And I'm like, I've been here since 2012. I was an investor.
Yeah. No, I didn't know about this FUD war, you know, when I joined, when I started using Twitter, and I found myself like getting into these arguments with these people online over, they were the short sellers. It was all Tesla Q, you know? Yeah. And so I got to plug in my computer. I'm going to take you in here. Okay. And so anyways, that's when Earl got there too. Like he got there at the same time. And that's when we met.
On via Twitter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
was it friendly at first?
It's always been friendly.
I know.
Yeah. Yes, but no, that actually turned into our little feud came later, you know.
But you just met on, so it was friendly at first. So I noticed that your first YouTube video was 4 years ago, and I love that it was about the air vents.
Oh yeah, yeah, that was at the Model 3 delivery party.
Okay.
Yeah, I videoed that in my during the test ride, and you know, nobody had seen the Model 3 at that point. So, and there was a lot of talk about that, the air vent situation. It is.
Yeah, I wonder what feature do you think is a mind-blowing for people when they first walk in, other than the acceleration? That's still incredible.
I mean, it's definitely that there are no controls and that it's just
everything clear. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, I think that's the biggest, you know, I just gave a ride to somebody for the first time about 3 weeks ago, and it was the first thing that they said.
No controls, shocked. Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, then I floored it and they were like,
okay. So you met Earl on Twitter, and then who else did you meet as you started moving on? So you were 100 followers. How did it start to grow?
You know, at first it was just, you know, time. And I was kind of known as the GIF queen for a while.
GIF
queen. This was during the whole short distort Tesla Q before they blocked all of us. I would make GIFs out of, you know, Tesla Q, like Mark's, what's his name? Spiegel. Is that his name? And Tesla charts, and you know, Montana Skeptic.
He's still around.
Yeah, I would put their faces like in GIFs that were, you can like do a GIF maker, and they were hilarious. And I kind of got known as the you know, queen, and then because I would just deal with it with humor, you know, just kind of like I did with the Mary Led. You know, I would just make fun of them. And so I think I started gaining followers because of that.
Yes.
And then but then FSD Beta, obviously. I think when I got FSD Beta, I had like, you know, 4,000 or 5,000 followers already at that point.
How did you get chosen, or how did it happen? How did they find out about you?
I think I don't know for sure. I think that it was because I met the guy who was the one making the decisions. And so FSD Beta kind of started via the owners clubs. Like the owners club presidents were kind of talking with the head of the clubs at the time. He's gone now, William, about how they could get more involved, or whatever. And I'm friends with a lot of club presidents. One of them, James Locke, he was one of the first people also that I met on Twitter around the same time as Earl, and a lot of them that I'm just have met over the years or whatever. And I was at a party the night before the plaid delivery event, and I think it was that. No, it wasn't that one. It was Battery Day. It was the night before Battery
Day. So you've
Day.
Gone to all the major events? You would fly down there, or you would drive down there, and you'd attended?
Yeah, the only one I did not, starting with the Model 3 delivery event, I didn't go to the Model 3 reveal. I didn't go to the Model X, Model S. That was before my time with, but the only one that I skipped, I was invited to, and I declined, was the semi event, which ended up being the Roadster too, which is such a bummer. I missed that. But that was the only one I said no to, just because I had just gone to the Model 3 delivery event, and it was the same guy that was asking me that I had gone as +1. He offered it again, and I said, ask somebody else. I feel bad. Ask somebody that hasn't.
But why would you spend your own money to go all that still here? So because
I fly for free.
What's that?
I fly for free. Okay. So, and it's kind of, I'm seeing friends there. It's like I'm seeing.
Yeah, I was wondering, is it a friendship? Is it the passion for Tesla? Obviously, it's everything at this point, right?
Yeah. No, it's, and it's exciting to be a part of the history of this company.
Exactly.
In its infancy, because we're not going to be able to do these things forever. They're not going to have these parties forever. They're not going to, it's going to be, it's like, and I suffer from FOMO, and now
you suffer from FOMO. Can you imagine?
We're
watching you from the outside.
I know. I
just talked to Kristen and to Joy, and that the concept that you guys are talking directly to Elon, or you're invited to these things and you were there from the beginning. This is the largest, most consequential company in the world. He's the richest man in the world. The things that Tesla is doing and has done is amazing and life-changing for the rest of humanity forever. And you guys are it, and you're there. It's pretty cool.
It's pretty crazy. I would not have thought that, that this is where I would be even in this community, it's really hard for me to explain to people that aren't part of the Tesla community.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. So what is, do they know? Your coworkers know? Your friends or family know? And
most of my, I'm based in Boston. It's a relatively small base. We all kind of know each other, or we did. It's getting bigger now. But I am known as the Tesla girl at work.
Yeah.
It's going to be more so now, I'm sure.
Have you seen my Hulu special?
Yeah. But yeah, they know, when I'm on a flight, out to LA or out to San Jose or San Francisco, and somebody I know is working the flight, they're like, are you going to a Tesla event? I'm like, as a matter of fact, I am, So they know, but they don't get it. All my friends here, they all know, but it's really hard to describe or relate to people about, so I don't really talk about it.
Right.
It's just kind of, this is this world and that's that world, and keep them separate.
Oh, it's wonderful. Okay. Oh, it's exciting. So let's go and dive into another big story. So the Mary Led story, which is just so recent, really. Another big story that you became the de facto spokesperson for Tesla, for my opinion. So that was during a period when President Biden hosted Mary Barra, the CEO of GM. I think it was the inauguration of GM's Factory Zero, November 2021. So that was just 5 months ago. and it's GM's first electric factory. He had just signed an infrastructure bill included $7.5 billion in electric vehicles. So when he gave his speech, he gave the credit to Mary Barra for electrifying the entire auto industry. Yeah. So the words he said was, Mary, I can remember talking to you way back in January about the need for America to lead in electric vehicles. And I can remember your dramatic announcement by 2035, GM would be 100% electric. You changed the whole story, Mary. There you did. You electrified the entire automobile industry. I'm serious. You led, and it matters. Drastically improving the climate by reducing hundreds of millions of barrels of oil that will not be used when we're all electric. So he did that. I mean, we were all there. We all watched it. We were all very excited and upset, or very concerned about it. So, but somehow, again, you happen to rise up and so tell us the story, how you got involved in that, why you decided to get involved, what you did that then all of a sudden got Mary-led trending on Twitter. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, of course, I thought it was absurd, like everybody else.
Yeah, I did too, but I didn't do anything.
I mean, that's how I deal with these things, is with sarcasm and humor, and maybe a little smart ass, that's just kind of how I've always done it. It used to be with the GIFs, and this time I was inspired to put Mary Barra in like important historical situations and say that she led, because that's what Biden said, and it was total BS. And so I started pulling pictures off the internet and downloaded some app that it was terrible. Like it was purposefully horrible looking. Yeah. I was like trying to make it look really, really bad. Just sticking her face on these.
I saw it, yeah.
But that's what I thought made it funny. And I just like went on a rant, I mean, I had, I don't know, 30 of them or so. But yes.
I didn't know you had 30. I just thought there was two main ones. I didn't realize it was that many. Okay.
Oh, there were a lot. Yeah, okay. I kind of wish I had strung them together in a thread.
Yes.
I wish I had done
that.
Still
do that now. It's still a topic now.
Yeah, I probably
like
could.
What you can do is every day that he doesn't say Tesla, you're going to add another to the thread.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he did finally say Tesla not too long. But I'm sure after all of our,
It was because of you.
Yeah.
No. I say that in joke, but actually it probably was, if you think about it, right? Because it kicks, everybody was upset. You kickstarted the movement, and then it just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then he finally had to do it. He was forced to kind of address it. But why do you think so? Other than union, why do you think Biden's refusing to acknowledge and say Tesla?
I think that the union is the fact that Tesla is non-union is the main reason. I mean, he's a big union guy. I'm actually pro-union, believe it or not. I mean, my industry is heavily unionized. My company is not. Delta is actually the only carrier that is non-union. Flight attendants, but I'm pro-union for Delta. Even like I would vote yes if we ever had a vote. So it's not that I'm against unions. It's that I've been involved in union campaigns. I used to be an activist. I used to be base chair for Boston, so I know how they work, and I know that there's probably some shenanigans on both sides when it comes to the rhetoric and the, you read something in the news, and I can read it through the lens of, okay, I've been through this before, and I know what these talking points are for the anti-union campaigns and all this stuff. But it really comes down to the fact that Tesla only needs 30% of a work group to sign a card in order to call a vote. And they work in a much different environment than I work in, where I might fly with a coworker and not see them again for years, whereas they work with the same people every day. So it shouldn't be that hard for them to get 30% of cards signed, even if there's interference from Tesla. It should not be that hard to get 30% of cards signed, and they can't do it. They can't even get, and it's hard to do when you've got millionaires working on the factory floor because they get stock options, So anyway, I have every respect for unions, and if it's what the workers want to do, then they should do that. However, if they're happy, then they should not be punished for being non-union. You know, I mean, that's the whole point, is like to make your employees so happy that they don't want a union. And that's kind of where Delta is. You know, that's where my company is. My company treats us well enough and they pay us well. And, you know, so we vote no. But anyway, so I found it appalling that the president of the United States can be pro-union all you want, but it was so like openly just disgusting politics in my, and I'm a Democrat. Like I voted for Biden, you know, so I don't agree with everything that he does though. And, you know, I thought that this was just an outrage. I thought it was really crappy to Tesla workers and to all the people that have worked so hard to get them where they are. And it was just a downright lie. You know, it's like, you can praise GM and you can praise their unions. You can do all that, but you don't have to like make stuff up. You know,
and well, it's also beyond that one event. I can see if you're standing in that factory with them, you're going to say all the great things. If he was in front of Ford, he'd say that. If he was in front of Tesla, he'd say that. But well, maybe he wouldn't. But months and months and months go by, and he still doesn't invite them to the summit. He doesn't mention them until he was kind of like they had to address it, or it was going to go out of control. But
yeah, exactly. Like that was kind of like, okay. You know, I mean, not inviting them to the summit on electric vehicles. I mean, that was just ridiculous, you know? And, I mean, absolutely ridiculous. And so, it's made me very disappointed, but you know what, this is how politics are and why I can't stand them. And, you know, it was so blatant, and it was like very disappointing that, you know, it was all about.
So it looks like that which is wonderful. You are part, and you're right there in the center of all the key issues Tesla's going through and milestones are going through. And we haven't even talked about the main one, which is you are an early original FSD beta tester. That's what you were originally known for, all the videos you've done for that. So tell us how you got into that. You know, you've shared that story so many times before. Just walk us through. So you met the person. What number were you? How many people ahead of you? The employees, and then where were you in that?
And then they gave it to John, who's a Tesla owner, Silicon Valley. He was the first one to get it.
Okay.
Public person to get it. And then I was in the next group, which there were, I want to say 15 of us.
Yeah.
Something like that. It was a very low number. These were the public testers. Now I don't know.
Omar, Kristen, you,
James Locke. Who else was in that first group?
And so you didn't what is it? Campaign for this or anything like that? It was just you were selected.
Well, it's funny because when I think after John got it, like there was some whispers that it was going to go out to some other people, and I tweeted something like, I think I should get it because I'm a time Tesla owner, and because I'm a woman, and it's all men that are doing it, and you know, I would be a good representative. Little did I know that had I just checked my email, I already had the email.
So you begged for it,
but I already had it.
How dare you beg for it? You stooped low, and you didn't need it.
And, I mean, literally, like it was in my email, like from the night before, and I didn't see it.
So did they know that you've been doing autopilot, long distances, and none of that?
No, I don't think so.
Have you did, and other than the air vent video? Because I noticed you did that, and then you didn't do anything for years.
I'm still not a YouTuber. I just want to make that clear.
I know you're not.
I suck at YouTube. I don't know how to do anything. That's why I post unedited drives, because I can't deal with anything. I don't even know how to make a thumbnail, you know. But anyways,
you can do these GIFs really well, but
no, and it has to be like a GIF for Dummies app for me to even do that. But no, I only started posting to YouTube because people were taking my clips that I would post. Because at first we were just posting little clips, because the car was honestly so annoying because it wasn't very good that you couldn't really do a full drive. It would be so annoying. And so anyways, I would post like interesting things, both good and bad, that it would do, pass or fail. And but people were taking my clips off of Twitter and putting them on YouTube for me.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I can't have
Gotcha.
that. And so I just started putting them on YouTube just to stop people from stealing them from me, basically. But yeah, so yeah, that's
So
what.
from your perspective, since you were really one of the originals and you had a top 15, is not mind blowing? I did everything I could to be part of the October 2021 group.
Mhm.
And I think at that time it was 2,000 people.
Yeah.
And I did everything I could because I like to be part of every, recognizing when a game changing technology is about to change the world forever. I want to
Mhm.
be there. Like the time when the internet first came out, 1995, when, the iPhone 2007, all these things. And I needed to be here. And I've been telling this to so many people, but there's 7.5 billion people in the world, and you are the first, let's say, 115 people who got to touch, test, try out the birth of general AI, robotaxi.
Yeah.
I just think that it's, like you said, an honor.
It's crazy. When I got it, like before I actually had it, but when I knew I was getting it and we were just all waiting for that download, I literally just laid in my bed and thought,
Mm,
this is big. Like this is a
yes, I'm
big
glad that you
deal.
recognize that. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Sometimes it takes you years later looking backwards and seeing what happened, but if you know it even before, it's
yeah.
exciting.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine what it's gonna be like, like, as
Yeah,
I really do believe that Tesla's gonna do it. I think it's gonna take
of course.
longer, but they're
Yeah,
gonna do it. And to be able to say that I was one of those
yeah.
people, it's just like,
Well, it's immortalized in a Hulu documentary. So yeah,
yeah, I mean,
you
yeah,
are in history. So
crazy.
you did it from that day to today. What do you see? Is it like a flat line, and then you understand and believe that there will be an exponential curve, or do you actually see it leaps and bounds? What's your opinion of what you have experienced in the last 2 years, I guess?
I mean, it's definitely, it's one of those things where the changes are so small
Yeah,
and like over time that it's kind of hard to remember
yeah,
like all the things, but and they also started over, when they
yes,
removed
right.
the radar, they completely started over. So that was kind of a, if they had been making some progress, that was kind of, there have been regressions. 10.12, which we're on today, for me is terrible.
What
um
you got 10
it was,
10.12.1, and you're saying it's terrible?
for me, I've only driven it in town once,
Yeah.
and I need to go back through and do my test loop again. But it wasn't so much. It was the navigation, actually. Like the navigation is terrible. It's not following the navigation. It's just blowing right past when it's supposed to turn. That's not. I don't know what is going on with it. If that's a beta thing or if it's a maps thing, or I'm not sure, but it made it like really hard. I haven't even uploaded the video because it's such an annoying video
Hmm.
to for me to watch. So I kind of want to do it again just so that my reactions at least are better, because my reactions on the video are like, I'm super annoyed.
I'm glad that
um
you're very honest about this and taking a realistic approach to
yeah.
evaluation. Yeah.
Yeah, but the other things, like, I have a couple of blind turns that I make, and it didn't do well when there was traffic. So I didn't like really notice a huge difference, other than the fact, and this is kind of like when I say it's little things over time, like it's really good at making turns now. Like when it does turn, it's not hesitant.
Mm.
It's not I mean, back when we first got it, like it was, coming too close to curbs or hitting curbs, or it was jerking its way through, through maneuvers, or it was way too hesitant or whatever. And it seems a lot more like when I'm not driving in town, I can actually have a, a disengagement free drive
Yeah.
pretty regularly now. And that never was the case in the beginning. you know, so it's just like a combination of all these little things. And I'm pretty hard on beta. Like I'm disengagement happy.
Yep.
You know, I like
be.
to disengage. Yeah.
Yep.
Because that's how it learns, you know? So for me to allow a zero intervention drive is a big deal, even on the regular roads. You know, I've driven all the way from Newport to Boston without intervention, several.
So there's a couple things I want to ask you. So do you believe that once you get a drop, like a new release just came out on Friday, whatever, that over time, the next weeks, it actually does get improved because they either turn on some levers or not? And then, or two, we've heard Elon say that it's optimized for California, Silicon Valley, and then how many Teslas are driving in your location? But yeah, what's your thoughts on those two?
Well, first of all, I personally feel like it actually regresses during
the next following weeks.
Yeah, like it's maybe it's okay to start, but I almost wonder if they're like doing that on purpose to like kind of try to make it, test it, make it fail or whatever, you know, to see how far it can go. So I think it's the opposite. I think that it like they start pushing, if they are pushing things in between, which people think they do because we download all this stuff and we upload and download in between drives.
Yeah.
So that's my theory. I have no idea if I'm right. I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything about AI or machine learning, but it feels that way. And then what was the second part?
Do you believe that it's optimized for Silicon Valley, not in your location?
Yeah. I mean, that's what Elon has said, that, you know, that what did he say? There was a term for it. I forget. Anyway, yeah. There actually are a lot of Teslas here though, believe it or not, now. Especially now, it's like crazy. And it's funny because like 4 years ago when I was in California and I would see Teslas everywhere.
Yeah.
I thought this is what the future is going to look like.
And then here it is.
And now here it is, you know, I see dozens of Teslas on my drive, you know.
I'm in Seattle in Bellevue.
Oh yeah.
You visited one time and this is like months ago, and I tweeted you back on, hey, I'll go for the rest with you.
Next time I'm there, I'll let you know.
Call me. And I played a game where I was sitting in a corner and I would say, how many seconds before I see another Tesla? And it's 20 seconds. Every 20 seconds, at that point, I'd see another Tesla. So it's, I'll see if this increases, but I'm pretty sure this place is full of Tesla.
It is. It's funny you say that because I play that game when I'm in Bellevue, because at the gym the Peloton is in the window.
Okay, so okay. Let's see. Oh, this little. You're funny. Oh, it's crazy. So yeah, I mean, do you consider yourself a Tesla? I don't know what the word is. You know, acolyte? Do you worship Elon? Do you, you know, where are you on that spectrum?
I mean, I believe that Tesla, or Elon rather, you know, has a lot of flaws, and I do not make excuses when I feel like he's, you know, behaving badly. I don't necessarily broadcast it, but I don't defend him when he does something that I think is wrong, you know. On the other hand, I will defend him if I feel like people are being unfair to him, you know, but like what's going on now with all the politics and stuff, like I honestly think he just needs to be quiet, you know, and I don't know why he's doing this and why he's on this free speech thing. And, you know, I just don't understand like why he's diverting from the mission of Tesla with all this nonsense. But so, yeah, I don't agree with everything that he says or does. I think that he's a brilliant man. And I think that you take all of him because that, you know, this is why he is who he is and why he's gotten his companies where they are, is because this is his personality. So, you know, but I'm not gonna defend him when I think that what he does is wrong. So
it's a general statement on my side. I've heard other people say it, but there's very few women in the Tesla Twitter community.
Yeah,
you are one of the top, you know, 3, 4, 5 that are seen as leaders of the space, and you're encouraging other women, and it's great to hear your voice. It's everybody. We need to hear more of everybody's points of views, but I find that the women are much more They're not like totally on the everything he says is the best and don't ever say anything negative, you know, and much more
Right.
realistic about things. And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, so we've covered some very heavy topics. I'll bounce it around to some silly topics. So Kim and Earl, you met Earl. He's hilarious. He's very
Yeah.
funny. Uh, uh, how did this? Yeah, it's a great relationship. It's just one of those things. Whenever you're part of any large community, there's always these personalities, and it's fun. It's really fun, and you guys play a role. Everybody like to watch the little banter. You actually have been owning him the last month. Like you've been on fire the last few months. You've hit him hard. It's just hilarious to watch. He's losing his touch ever since he decided to move to Alaska. I don't know what's going on.
I know. Yeah, you know, so like I said, he was one of the first people I met on Twitter, virtually met. And you know, we've been in like some chat groups. So there's like a lot of like, especially like before with all the Tesla Q stuff, like we would talk about whatever was the latest hit thing on Tesla and these chat groups. And so I got it, you know, to know him from there. And then I met him for the only time at the Cybertruck event. He was at like a meetup that we had before the event, and I met him there. And then, you know, I saw him obviously at the event. But, you know, I think that our senses of humor are just play well together. And he's a good sport. Like he's definitely okay to like play that part of me just owning him all the time. Yeah, I mean, he just makes it too easy.
He sets himself up. I know that. It's hilarious.
But yeah, I mean, and we DM, like, you know, he'll send me a tweet that, you know, when he's making fun of me, and then I'll laugh, and, you know, then same thing back at him, I'll do the same thing. So, you know, it's all in fun. We're actually, you know, friends in real life, but it's just fun.
You saw
and
my tweet that I did, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks ago, a month ago, where I did a little poll and it said, "Are you Team Kim? Or are you Team Earl?" And I've actually been asking that to the people I'm interviewing as a fun question. And it was shocking what came out at the end. It was 50-50.
That's funny.
Yeah. It was 50-50. Now, the only counter I would give to that is that, well, Earl has a lot more followers, so what the hell happened to him? But no, it was funny. It was great, I guess. It was wonderful that it was 50-50. It was exactly right on.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's good. Yeah, I mean, I like that he is game for, you know, having this fun, and I'm glad that it's giving the Tesla community some entertainment and you know, make people laugh, you know. It makes it fun.
So the other man in your life is Sean Mitchell.
Yeah, Sean and I are good friends. Yep.
You just like to tease everybody.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm a little bit of a smart ass. I mean, that's my humor in real life too. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Again, he makes it easy too, and he plays along. Like he wants to joke around. So, you know.
Yeah. So Sean, I got lucky when I was at CyberRodeo, and I found you and Sean, and I sat down, and in between the two of you, I got to talk to you guys. That was very lucky of me. Then I know that he's been away from Twitter a little bit. He's a realtor in Denver. And then I discovered his YouTube videos, and he is amazing.
Yeah.
His voice is, he's so easy to talk, to listen to, and he thinks things through.
Yep.
I don't know why I didn't know him earlier. I think he's because he took I think he's taking a break, or he's getting back into now.
As he got busier with real estate, you know, he has only been doing real estate for a few years.
Yeah.
So I think he was doing the EV channel, you know, just as some extra income. And then once the real estate started taking off, he just didn't have the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, he hasn't been doing he's got some videos that he's recorded that he hasn't uploaded yet. He's just so busy, you know.
He's amazing. I don't tell him I told you that, but I actually don't. I want to talk to him too next, but he's great. I thought it was just wonderful videos that I've been watching of his.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to what topics about Tesla do you really love to talk about? What, FSD, robotaxi? Is it the bot? Where are you most excited about these days?
I mean, obviously for it's FSD beta for
Yeah.
me. I mean, I'm excited about the future, about autonomy. Before I got beta, when it was just, I'm not even sure it existed yet. No, it did not. I read this Rethink X report on autonomy. Tony Seba, who is a expert in technology disruption, wrote this report.
Yeah.
And as I was reading it, this was probably 2016 or 17 when I read it. Like every question that I would have about, well, what about this? Well, what about that? He answered it in this report, and I was like, oh gosh, like this really makes sense. This is the future. This is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And kind of like when I first got the Tesla, and I'm like, okay, hurry up. We need the EV revolution, like right now. Why is it taking so long? Like, I kind of feel that way about autonomy too. Like, I'm excited for it to happen. I want it to hurry up and happen because, it's going to
save lives. Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to save lives. It's going to totally change our lives. It's going to change the way we work, where we live. Like, it's just going to change a lot of things. And so, it's going to be
Yeah, I think it's going to change cities, right?
going to change cities. Like, you're not going to need parking spaces and parking garages. And you're going to end up with a lot more space for parks and pedestrian streets. And it's going to be a lot different. So it's going to be exciting.
Will you be buying a TeslaBot? Do you think you'll be able to be the first beta 15 people?
If I can afford a TeslaBot, I will buy one. Yes, I will.
You should buy one regardless.
Yeah, I should. I mean, I'll be able to afford one.
I want to be a beta tester, so just my name. But my guessing about this would be that, let's say it's $25,000 or something like that. It's not worth it. It's not going to be able to be worth it to, wash dishes or anything like that. But the joke I've been going is that, well, after I use it for 2 hours of doing stuff that's not worth 25 grand, but if I teach it to fold napkins and I sell these amazing napkins, I'll make $1,000 a month, and it'll be worth it. See what I mean? It's like, I think that there'll be something I can do with it. I'm hoping that will be.
That would be cool. Yeah. I mean, I didn't even think of that. I was thinking that it was just going to do all my chores for me, but if it can make me money too.
That's what I'm thinking. See, so I think it's going to go beyond that. Yeah. So FSD is the one you care about. What do you think the world's going to look like in 5 years, 10 years?
I mean, according to Tony Seba, once autonomy is solved, it's going to be a rapid change. Like, it's going to happen within 10 years of it, like completely no more gas cars,
Yes.
So, I mean, it's going to be a quiet future. We're not going to hear all this noise. It's going to be safe. It's going to be convenient, and we're going to have more open spaces. We're going to have, we're not going to care about commuting to work if we can work in our vehicle, there's going to be so many changes. Yeah. I mean, I could let my car be a robotaxi while I'm flying.
Yes, it's perfect for you.
Yeah.
That would be perfect for you. Pick you up at the airport, drop you off.
And then go earn me some money while I'm away.
Exactly. Awesome. So I want to play some fun games with you before we get there. CyberRodeo. So you drove from Newport all the way to Austin. Why would you do that if you've got free flights?
I know.
Are you crazy? How was that, and what happened?
Well, I kind of, before we knew when it was going to be, I had said, if I end up with the time off, I'll drive. I actually like road trips. And, I started doing road trips in 2018. Was that 2019 was my first one by myself. I went to Nova Scotia. And so I actually really enjoy being in the car. It's like kind of my meditating time, my quiet time. And, I don't talk on the phone. Sometimes I don't listen to music. I just, enjoy the scenery. And so I ended up getting the time off. I had vacation, and then I put some like paid time around my vacation. So I ended up with 3 weeks off. So I had plenty of time to do it. I don't want to drive a gas car when I get there. I kind of have to rent a Tesla, so I was going to spend money on that. And my car is kind of famous, it's like a unicorn and people know it. And so I was like, well, if I have the time, I'm just going to do it. And I also wanted to go to Starbase after,
Yes.
which I did. And then I kind of took a, scenic way home, so I don't know, just use that time to see the world or the country. I've been all over this country with my job, but I've been from city to city, and it's completely different when you see the in-betweens. So
you're an adventurer at heart, it sounds like. Yeah. So tell us a story about CyberRodeo. Who were you there with? What happened, and what did you enjoy the most? So
wow,
details. Who were you there with? Who did you walk in there with? I think I got a phone call from Chuck Cook, and he said that he's in a car with you and K10 and Joy.
It was Joy and Sean.
It was Chuck Cook, Joy, Sean.
Yeah, and I was driving. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Chuck did not have a ticket, but he was just going to try to get in, which he did. Joy was.
I helped him get in, by the way.
Oh, you did? Oh, good.
Yeah, I was the person, along with my friend Jacob, that we discovered the QR code can be multi-use.
Oh,
and so we told everybody. Nice. Yeah, it went viral.
Oh, well, that's how I got in somebody that way too.
Yeah,
once I found that out. But anyways, yeah. So Joy was Sean's +1, and my +1 was actually Trevor from Model 3 Owners Club, or Tesla Owners Worldwide, I guess it was now. Because that was kind of paying him back for getting me into Cybertruck.
Yeah.
So I was like paying it forward. But anyway, yeah, it was a crazy whirlwind week. Like I was so overwhelmed. Like the Saturday after, TeslaCon, I just like slept all afternoon. Yeah. I was so like, just beat. But yeah, Tuesday night, I arrived on Tuesday. There was the barbecue at Terry Black's. I met a few people. Like, it was the beginning of like, I don't know how many people I met you. Like, I don't know how many.
That's right. Yeah.
I met hundreds of people that came up and wanted to talk to me.
You're a celebrity. So that's what I've been saying. Your friends and family don't realize that there's this little pocket in the world that you are a celebrity. You're a D celebrity everywhere else, but here you're an A celebrity.
It was nuts. Yeah, it was. I did not expect. It was kind of overwhelming because it's not something that I'm used to. Tuesday night, then Wednesday night there was another event. There were more people because people were still arriving. That's I think when we met, and then Thursday was the rodeo, and then of course then TeslaCon was just nuts.
And you were a speaker at the panel.
Yes.
You did great there.
Yeah. So yeah, it was amazing. It was again like an honor that I'm honored I got to go to the rodeo. I'm honored that I got to meet all these people. And it's really just like really drove home, as if we didn't know this already, just how amazing the Tesla community is. And the fact that people came from all over the world.
Yeah. I know 12 people from Europe.
Yeah.
Part of our Tesla Universe Clubhouse group that I joined.
Yep. And there was somebody from Europe. Australia. There was I mean, it was just amazing that people like they didn't have an invitation. Yeah. They just came from all over the world and all over the country to be with everybody and meet people finally, and all these people that we've kind of been talking to on
it's very special.
Yeah, like this just does not happen.
Yeah, I told people after I came back that this event was probably the second most fun event that I've ever been to in my life. If I consider the very first would be my wedding.
Yeah.
And I was like, why was this so much fun? Why was it so much fun? And it's like, you turn around and there's a person that you know, but you don't know, and you want to get to know, and they want to get to know you. You turn around, there's another one like that. It's like everybody in the room, I kind of know, it's like, and we're talking hundreds of people. And so it's like, this is, we all have the shared interest, a topic we want to never stop talking about. So it's weird. It's weird and fun. Yeah.
I mean, that's why, when I go to these events, I'm actually kind of a shy person, believe it or not.
Yeah, okay, right.
I know, I really am. Like in a social situation, like if I don't know anybody, if I'm in a party, I don't know anybody, I'm not the one that like goes up and just starts talking to people. I'm not the one that's like the life of the party. I wish I could be that person, but I'm the one that's like kind of waits for people to come talk to me.
Yeah.
But in the Tesla world, I mean, we have this common interest. So immediately you have something to break the ice and get the conversation started. And so in that world, I am not my normal shy self. And so, it's kind of, I don't know, I'm comfortable, it makes me very comfortable. So I love going to these events because I get to meet the people that I interact with on Twitter, or I get to, put names to faces and, personalities to the accounts and all this stuff. It's really cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay. I've got questions to ask you to dig more about who you are as a person, but I know you're a huge Wordle fan. I think you're a fanatic Wordle fan. So should we try an experiment where you're gonna play Wordle right now? Should we try that?
Sure.
Is that gonna work?
I already played today.
No. I'm gonna use this buzzword. I know, it's heretic to use another app.
Okay.
But you have to do this fast because it's not going to work out on a Zoom interview if this doesn't work out.
Where do I go?
Well, no, you don't go anywhere. You're going to have to do this blind.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, should we try it? Okay, go ahead. What's your first word?
Stern, STERN.
Okay, only the R is not green, but in play.
What position is it? Where is it?
Well, stern, STER.
Oh, R. Yeah. R. Okay.
You're doing this blind. You've never done this before.
Yeah. Okay, so the next word then is radio.
You're reusing the R, but okay.
Yeah, I play hard mode.
Ooh, okay, this is good. So the R's green, the D is green.
Okay.
Does it help if I showed you this? I don't know if you can see it. I don't think you can see it. Sorry.
Like, bring it a little closer.
You can't see it. I'm sorry.
No,
you can't see you can't see the letters that you've used.
Right. Okay, so
the R is correct. The D is correct. AIONETS is not.
So there's none of the vowels that
AIEO are all not.
So U is not U.
And Y?
RUD. Well, it could be ready. RUDDY. But wait, I don't know. What do you think?
It could be that.
RUD. Oh, yeah, let's try ready.
Two D's, huh?
Yeah.
You did it. You are amazing. That was crazy. This is blind. You did it in 3. Okay, so it worked out. I was getting really worried there.
So
why would I play Wordle on a Zoom interview with you? I
play a ridiculous amount.
I know you do. You do.
Not only do I play Wordle, but when I'm at work and like I just have downtime on the plane, I play the duo Gordle, which is 32 at a time.
What? You're playing, it's like you're the chess master like that. You're like
you play your words, but it plays it across 32 boards at a time.
Oh my God. I've never heard of this. You're
and you get 37 chances to get 32. So you can only make 5 throwaways.
That was impressive. Very impressive. Did it blind 3. You did it. All right. So what Funversation questions? Okay. So what would I hear if I asked a group of people who know you 5 adjectives to describe you? What would people say? What would Earl say?
I mean, he would just make up things. Let's see. I think that they would say positive. Funny. I mean, my friends know me as somebody funny.
Well, you got your gifs that took off for you.
Yeah. Positive, funny, strong.
Mm-hmm.
I've been through some tough stuff, especially stuff with, my friends, like divorce and, all this other stuff. So, let's see. How many is that? 3?
Yeah.
Loyal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a good friend.
Yeah.
Until you cross me.
I know people like that. Yeah, that's actually very similar to my wife. And I can see why they come together. It's not as bad as it sounds.
Yeah. No, it's good, but you can't stand up for yourself. And then the 5th one, fun. I like to have. I'm the good time girl. I like to have fun.
Nice. Yeah. Like last night, you had a party with friends.
Yes. I mean, we wait all year here for summer. It's a very short season. Yeah. So it was actually like the first night that it was, or the first weekend that it was warm enough to sit outside.
To do a barbecue. Nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Would you remove the ability for your body if you don't need to sleep? Would you take something to do that?
No, I like sleeping. I love sleeping. I don't get a lot of sleep, actually. So I really appreciate my sleep when I get it. I'm one of these terrible people that sleeps for like 4 hours and then my body says, all right, you're good. And I'm like, damn it, not.
Yeah. Well, if you're traveling a lot in airplane, you need to be able to sleep, and then you get disrupted all the time, probably.
Yeah, I like to joke that my life is a series of naps. Like, really.
So would you, if you had the ability to, if you had to choose between one or two things, you have to say anything that comes to mind all the time, or you never have to say anything at all, which one would you pick?
Probably never say anything at all.
What? See, you're a dichotomy.
I mean,
you got a lot of good things to say.
Yeah, but I mean, if you have to say everything that's on your mind, like, you need filters for a reason,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it'd be better just to sit back and, I don't know, be wise. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, so another one is, would you rather have telekinesis, the ability to move things with your mind, or telepathy, to read minds?
Telekinesis.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You're a superhero.
Yeah.
And then last one, like, are you the kind of person who watches Hallmark romantic movies, or would you do anything but, or like 100% horror movies?
No horror movies. No, I'm like legit scared of scary movies.
I am too. I hate horror movies. I don't know why it even a thing.
I mean, I've never liked them, even as a kid. Yeah.
We're very similar in many ways, I think. So, are you going to go to the annual shareholder meeting on August 4th?
Yeah, I am. I'm not sure if I'm going to just fly in for it, or I actually might try to just be there on a layover. Because then Delta's paying for my hotel room, and I can just go. We have a lot of trips that get into Austin. I'm in Austin like more than anywhere else, actually.
Okay, so you can
kind of
just time it right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we have Austin layovers every day out of Boston, and I can have whatever Austin layovers I want. And so if there's, assuming there's going to still be a trip that we have a trip that gets in at like 10 in the morning, and then I don't leave until the next day, so I would try to do that. But I'll definitely go one way or another for sure.
Okay, I don't know if I'm going to make it this time.
I've never been to one. I mean, other than Battery Day, which was kind of weird.
Yeah, so that the next question is, AI Day 2 is coming up on August 19th, 2 weeks later. Are you going to go to that?
No.
If I had to choose between the two, well, I think is the shareholder meeting going to be a party? Like, a lot of people are coming back again for a reunion?
Probably. Like, I think that there'll be a lot of people there. Yeah. I think that the AI Day stuff it's really more for recruiting
Yes, it is.
people.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's like over my head. Like they're not trying to dumb this
No.
down to talk to you and I. They're
Yeah.
talking to, the people that are going to build it. So yeah, I wouldn't go to that.
What do you
I
think
tried to watch the first one and it was like,
yeah,
no.
3 hour, 4 hour. Are you
Yeah.
gonna, any thoughts on what they might showcase or talk about there? Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, for a beta tester, like I know nothing about autonomy. Like I had a really long chat with James
Duma.
Duma.
Yeah.
We met for breakfast or brunch or whatever the day before, a couple days. I guess it was the Wednesday. So the day before the event.
Yeah.
And it was just, I love talking to him because he's so good at explaining this in like normal people talk, to like the lay person who doesn't know anything about it. And it's not even his field. He just gets it, So like I learned more talking to him, than I have on any other. I also don't watch a lot of stuff. Like I should probably watch stuff on YouTube.
Yeah, well, he's interviewed by Dave Lee all the time, and he's very good. The two of them talk about the questions we're all asking about. How to think about
I should
this.
probably watch those. I'm like terrible with. I don't watch anybody's YouTube. I don't even watch Sean's. I don't, like when we were, when he was actually making videos. I don't watch other beta testers. Like I don't have time. Like I feel like, my social media time is kind of Twitter and, I don't even watch TV. Like I just don't.
Did you watch your own documentary?
I watched my own documentary. I've only watched it once. I actually need to watch it again. I think because now that I had my initial thoughts, I kind of want to watch it again to kind of fine tune that a little bit. But yeah, I did watch that. I actually had a friend of mine come watch it with me, so I wouldn't have to watch it alone. Because I was.
Yeah, you were saying that this person is a neutral, doesn't know much about anything, and what did they say?
Well, it's interesting because so she is a producer. Like that's what she does. And in fact, when I was thinking about whether or not I should do this or not, I talked to her. She's the first person I called. And, she kind of assured me that, hey, and I had an email from them, like, when I said my concerns, that I didn't want to be part of a hit piece. She was like, they're not going to, they're going to be fair to you. Like that would be really, really, really like bush
league. Their reputation a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. She was like, that would be bush league if they
said one thing and then they use you for complete something. I'm surprised that that's the case, because I would assume that they might think that they want to do this story and then somehow it's not going to look good or it's not going to be great. So then they try to, let's change it to be a hit piece and then that's going to take off, they may not control.
That's what I was afraid of. Yeah. That's honestly. And then when the press started coming out about it, which is, and clearly, I mean, the name of the film is, it's definitely, I think, anti-Tesla a bit, but I do think that the arguments that they presented, or the what they were saying about complacency and they were trying to say that the better system gets, the more people would be complacent and the more likely they are that they could get into an accident. But what they left out was like that Tesla actually has more nags now than they did for
the current stuff.
Yeah. Like they didn't like really address that. And I talked to the director about this. I was like, I actually can't be complacent when I'm using beta. Like it's not possible. Even if it was so good, like I have to watch the road with my eyes at the camera, and I have to have torque on the wheel. Like I have to. So
well, it sounds like what's missing is another documentary with you starring in it, talking about the most recent situation.
Maybe when it's solved, I'll be in that documentary.
Well, you're going to have to bookmark it because I was there first day. And this is, again, you're very realistic about things. You weren't hiding things. And in fact, I was perfectly fine when you said, oh, it didn't do that right. That's not good. It was great that you said that, as opposed to other people who are trying to just always, oh my God, that was perfect. That was wonderful. Look how great this is. So, yeah.
I mean, that definitely is, I've always posted the good and the bad with my videos. Part of the reason I agreed to do it, and this is the whole thing. Tesla Q is still, a Montana skeptic like attacked me the day after it came
Yes.
out, that I was like one of the most despicable human
Yes.
beings. I don't remember what he said.
Yeah.
But
How can that be when you were actually, okay, I guess it's different perspectives, different viewpoints, but I thought that you were being very fair. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody says anything positive about Tesla,
Right.
then that's going to be his reaction. But Tesla Q likes to spin this whole narrative that FSD Beta is danger to public, and we are,
Yeah.
the public are guinea pigs for Tesla and Elon Musk's, trying to get autonomy and blah blah blah. And the data just does not show that.
Yeah.
There haven't been any accidents. I think there's maybe one that's under investigation, like the first one is under investigation right now. Tesla has been required for the past year to disclose to NHTSA,
Yep.
If there's a crash or accident, anything involving FSD Beta. And so, where are all these accidents that if it's so dangerous, right?
And if it was with 100,000 plus beta users, NHTSA would, and knock on wood, but they would have stopped it if it was getting out of control. So
totally. But I wanted to, part of the reason I agreed to the film is because I wanted to show that it's not difficult. Like, it's not rocket science. It's not dangerous. It's not, you just take over. It's not a big deal, So,
I love these other videos. Oh no.
Yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous. And, or people who let their cars get too far into a mistake, that I disagree with. And that I do wish that Tesla would be a little bit better with guidance to beta testers, but that's on them. But anyway, so yeah, I was hoping to show that it wasn't a huge deal, and that it makes mistakes, but it's not anything scary.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Kim. I mean, this is a perfect topic to end with, because at the very beginning we started with this, and this is a key topic. It's a very important one. Mm-hmm. You are the face for FSD Beta and robotaxi. Like you said, when it happens, when it's starting to move in that direction, and people are finally, just like they did with EVs, electric vehicles. Everybody was so skeptical about it. Now everybody's doing it. I wish that they would give Tesla credit for it. This will also happen, as you said, for robotaxi, and we're watching it happen. I think it's going to happen sooner than everybody thinks. People always overestimate, why it's supposed to happen in a year. No, it could happen, but then they always underestimate. They think it's not going to happen for 10 years or till 2050. It's going to happen in 3 years.
Yeah, that's my guess too, actually, is probably 3 years. Yeah.
And then it's not always like, it's not black and white. It's going to be like, right, as we also like geofence, and then certain routes, and then, certain situations, and then all this, but all the mistakes that's happening right now, it's going to be resolved, because you already can see that it can resolve other similar kinds of mistakes. So it's not like it's impossible. You already can see that it can do so many things right. If it can do those things right, like if it can recognize a small dog, big dog, if it can recognize, know what to do at a blinking yellow, those kind of things.
Yeah. I mean, that was one of the first things I said in the movie, actually, was,
you did,
that I know it can do it. It just needs to do it every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it will happen. Thank you so much, Kim. Everyone, please follow Kim at Kim Paquette. I know you already are. Hopefully you've learned something new. And if you did, please subscribe and like this video, this YouTube channel. Thanks, everybody. Thank you again, Kim. Really appreciate this.
Yeah, thank you. It was great talking to you.
Yep. See you later.